Coach says this group is young. Talked to him last night, but he really loves the upside of where they can get to.
Third and final game of the night. So far, the winners, Sanford and Utah Valley, and we are underway here from Hard Rock Hotel Riviera Maya. The Aggies at 4-0 and the Anteaters at 3-3. New Mexico State with it first. Backing into the post, Jones. The turnaround is an air ball, well defended, and here come the Anteaters.
Yeah, two teams that prize themselves in defense. Coach Turner talked about that again last night. Hey, we're going to be defense first, defense second, and hopefully the offense will get going too. And if not, we'll be defense third again.
Tama Isaac works out to the perimeter. Now feed inside, left-handed layup short from Kyle Evans. The shot he wants back.
Yeah, just rushed that one a little bit. Definitely had an easy open look.
Quick trigger on a three. Anthony Rizesh, the senior out of Poland, one of the top sharpshooters at a Conference USA.
Hey, no hesitation with a smile on his face. That's when you know somebody does what they do.
Layup no good from Darren Saron, but a foul called against the Aggies.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about getting shot ready. Coaches talk about it all the time. Here you see the raise up, no hesitation, barely brings it down, quick release, nothing but bottoms.
And to the free throw line is Saron, a sophomore out of Istanbul, Turkey. Interesting career path. Began his career at UC Irvine, then went to Palo Alto 1 year at Stanford, and finds himself right back at Irvine, California. Second stint as an Anteater, and makes both free throws. Saron coming off an explosive night against the Panthers, 29 points against Northern Iowa. And Coach Russell Turner really glad to have him back in the program. That, Jason Hooten, the head coach at New Mexico State in his second season in Las Cruces. Rizesh, that time it doesn't go.
And you can always tell a big-time shooter by how they miss. That one rimmed out twice.
Saron on the drive. Contested shot and a foul be called here against Jones.
Yeah, good job attacking the gaps early off of the skip pass. Sometimes so hard to guard those closeouts, especially with a player of the talent of this young man. And there you see Coach Turner. I don't think it looks like he's talking to himself, but he's actually talking to the referee, as highly competitive coaches do. Always want to get their point across, Brent. Whether referees always like it or not, I think half the game they're just managing the coaches on the sideline who always have a point of view they want to get across.
Russell Turner, one of the more well-respected coaches in all of college basketball, four-time Big West Coach of the Year, and he and Jason Hooten, very good friends. But tonight, competitors. After both missed free throws by Saron, it remains 3-2 Aggies.
Yeah, Coach Turner, an elite basketball coach.
Okay, Pickens three, rattles out. And here's Saron. Now outside, Dixon. The mid-range pull-up doesn't go, and a foul will be called against New Mexico State.
Well, one thing you'll see in this game, too, a lot of size on the floor. Got height for positional size, especially on the interior. A lot of athletes, a lot of length. And, again, this will be a fun game to cover and watch for those at home.
And a quick sub here for the Aggies. Sierra Malanga will come out for New Mexico State. That'll bring Kyrus Mullen into the game for the Aggies. Tama Isaac. And here's Saron matched up against Gabe Pickens, sophomore out of Phoenix. Saron into traffic, and another foul called against the No, it's a travel turnover against UC Irvine.
Yeah, again, good defense by New Mexico State. We talked about them having to be disruptive, and that's one of those plays. Disruptive doesn't mean that you're just getting steals. It just means you're changing the flow. You're disrupting the flow of the offense for the other team.
Both teams essentially brand new additions of themselves from a year ago as Rizesh feeds that to Pickens. For the Aggies, only 2 players back from last year's 17-win team. A turnover by the Aggies, and back come the Anteaters. Sauron lost at recess, good defense. And now Sauron drives, dishes, and the layup is good for Kyle Evans.
Yeah, Sauron always dribbles with his eyes up, surveying and scanning, seeing who he can find that's open as he can pick apart the defense. Nice dime to his big man for the finish.
The Aggies brought in 11 transfers over the offseason to help rebuild. Jones draws a foul, and that'll lead to free throws here for New Mexico State. In the case of UC Irvine, a team that won 32 games a year ago, reaching the NIT finals, losing a heartbreaker to Chattanooga. 4 starters gone from last year's team, including all 4 the top 4 scorers rather for the Anteaters.
And Jones gets to the free throw line, something he leads this club in already. 17 free throw attempts on the season, just over 4 a game. Something that as he continues to score, that number will likely go up, him drawing fouls. And a good sign as he airballed his first shot. Good sign for him to be able to get to the free throw line and see 2 drop. Nothing but bottom.
Jones preseason on Conference USA. First year transfer from Cal State Bakersfield, where he had a 45-point game a year ago for that program, and a reaching foul called here. If that's Jones, that's his second.
Well, it's definitely Jones. There was no one else in the play. He wishes he had that one back. Just a little too aggressive. Coach Hooten said he's really challenged him on the defensive side of the ball. He said, you have no choice in this program. However, he has responded to the challenge so far. He's enjoyed coaching him on the defensive side of the ball as he continues to compete.
Well, actually, for Jones, that's his first. Some of the other fouls were called against Malunga, and he's picked up 2. Turnover, UC Irvine. Back comes New Mexico State. Here's Jones going to work. Jones on the drive. Shot contested by Evans. But the basketball will stay with New Mexico State. Again, the Aggies 4-0 on the year, but this is New Mexico State's first game of the year outside of Las Cruces. Recess shot waved off, a travel. And basketball back to UC Irvine. So much tremendous support for the Aggies back in New Mexico, back home in Las Cruces. I mean, they really turn out, the fan base does there, including that annual rivalry game against New Mexico. Those two playing only about a week ago drew more than 8,000 fans in Las Cruces.
Yeah, New Mexico State was able to win that game early, which is always a huge game. Being a former assistant at UTEP right down the street from New Mexico State, understands the rivalry not only between New Mexico State and UTEP, but also between New Mexico and New Mexico State. Sometimes, like any rivalry, you win that game, people already feel like it's a successful season.
Open look at a 3, Kyrie Smullen. Offensive rebound, Jones. Back out, Rezesh, and misses a 3. That put back good, counts, and a foul for Kyrie Smullen.
And a little bit of muscle in the flex as the team cheers him on. That is New Mexico State basketball right there. Gritty.
And welcome back to the Hard Rock Hotel Riviera Maya, where New Mexico State leads UC Irvine 7-4. And a free throw coming up for Kyrie Smullen after this physical putback and get to the N1.
Well, we talked about this in one of the keys to the game for Irvine, controlling the boards. And there you see why. New Mexico State really is going to attack the offensive glass with physicality and aggression, as you saw in that play. And the problem with UC Irvine, they have the length and athleticism, but they wanted no part of the fight on that particular play. So it's a small play, but it ends up being a big play if they let that kind of play continue.
So Mullen getting ready to come to the line here for the Aggies, the first-year transfer out of Hampton. So going from the MEAC to Conference USA. Played very well, and the Aggies win over Sanford to start off this challenge back in Las Cruces. And this will mark his first free throw attempt of the year. Aggies picked up at his third in Conference USA this season, finishing fourth a year ago in a conference that Jason Hooten has called the best he's ever coached in. No off nights in Conference USA.
And he would be not as wise as we all know him to be if he didn't say that, because whatever conference you're in is the best conference you've ever coached in, because that's the one you have to win games in that particular year.
There's a foul called against the Aggies. A little free throws here for UC Irvine.
But to his point of what he talked about with us is the depth of the conference is what makes it so competitive. So many good coaches, so many good players, and the travel, the amount of, again, teams that can win, it feels way more wide open, whereas maybe when he was in the Southland Conference at Sam Houston and even in the WAC, maybe it wasn't quite as deep, although at the top, always competitive in those leagues as well when he was in them. So he probably was still right, although I do think he was very smart in how he said that.
Jerian Dixon to the free throw line, sophomore out of San Diego. Last year's Big West Freshman of the Year. His named preseason first team all-conference coming into his sophomore season. Goes 1 of 2. And the official calling for time because he has to tie his shoe.
Hey, I appreciate and respect the fact he's like, hey, give me a second. I need to be on my A game too. I can't keep up with you guys if don't have my shoes tied.
There's Jason Hooten, who's now sitting at 5 wins shy of 300 in his career. And right now coaching an Aggie team which is one of 43 unbeatens left in the country.
I mentioned his time at Sam Houston State, the program he was previously at, and won championships and coach of the years and all kinds of all-conference players and success. Had a great run there, and as hard as it was for him to leave, sometimes it's just time for a new challenge, and had done about all you can do there, and now he is really proud of the preseason. No, not that it's the end of the season, but it's the preseason ranking of the respect that he's earned and his program has earned at New Mexico State, getting picked in the top 3 of the conference and knowing they still have work to do, but he's excited about that recognition.
Another foul called here against the Aggies. And this will go down as the 6th team foul of the half against New Mexico State.
Which means they're in a bonus the rest of the way. Sometimes that aggression does not pay off as it gets you in foul trouble. And so 15 minutes left. We talked about it in one of the previous games, 12 minutes left in the game that we're in the bonus. Now we're in the bonus, shooting from now on with 15 minutes left. So the first 5 minutes of the game has been that chippy for New Mexico State.
Andre Henry just checked into the game for UC Irvine. Huge storyline there. Henry missed most of last year with an ACL injury, only recently returned to the lineup a couple of games ago. And talking to Coach Russell Turner, he is a huge difference maker, a former Conference Defensive Player of the Year. As the Aggies turn it over, or get the turnover from UC Irvine.
Yeah, both these teams, I mean, we've seen some good defensive basketball, but this is some defensive clinic work you're going to see from both these coaches, 2 of the best in the country at what they do on the defensive side of the ball, not even just at the mid-major level, but at any level.
Randall pulls up and knocks it down right over Ness Emenike.
Yeah, the art of the mid-range is not dead, ladies and gentlemen at home. If you can do it, it still really pays off in basketball.
Quarter 3. That's off target for Jovan Jester. The Anteaters so far have only made 1 field goal today. 1 of 4 from the floor.
Yet again, they have as many turnovers as they do shots. It talks about the defensive disruption we mentioned that New Mexico State needs to have. And as they do that, they turn it over for their 3rd time in the game.
Turnover number 2 against the Aggies.
Yeah, here you see nice slow down. You got a shot blocker in front of you. Hey, I don't need to dance with you. Let me just show you what I can do from this elbow. Randall knocks it down. I'm still getting used to the numbers that you can wear now in college basketball. You got a 9 on the floor right now.
Mm-hmm.
We have an 8 on the floor. We had a 99 earlier in the game. It used to be where you had to wear digits of 1 through 5 only. So there was no 6 and above as far as one single digit. Now it's wide open game. It's a good thing. I'm just still getting used to it. Kind of like football. You got 2 numbers you can have now.
Yep. And
now two players in the same team can have the same number.
In the NFL, now they allow receivers to wear single-digit jerseys, and number 0 is now a thing in football as well.
Now, can linemen wear
No,
99s?
That they can't do.
They can wear double digits, though.
Yes.
But they don't have to wear 90-something.
No, they don't have to.
That's what I'm saying. Change it. Speaking of change of possession, another defensive forced turnover, the 5th of the game by New Mexico State. The points off turnovers. Now it's time for a conversion on the other end. They have 5 points off turnovers. Half of their points have come from taking it away and going to convert. Let's see what they do now.
Aggies looking to move to 5-0 on the year. And there's the alley, and finishing the oop is Julius Mims.
Well, you couldn't convert any better than that. A highlight followed by a near steal, and the New Mexico State Aggies are starting to play and bring the juice. Here you see the ball screen, or excuse me, not even a ball screen, just waiting in the alley to get it in the dunker spot. Say hello, Rim.
Mims was a state champion high jumper in high school out of Billings, Montana. Coach Schutten calling him, and this is quite the praise from somebody who's coached more than 3 decades, the greatest athlete he's ever coached.
Yeah, ever. With no hesitation on ever.
Isaac able to get by Mims and lays it in.
Say, hey, let me put this number 6 jersey to work. I'll see you, athlete, now fillet you underneath for the layup.
Tama Isaac, freshman out of New Zealand. Great background in playing international basketball for New Zealand's national team. 5-point Aggie lead, under 13 to go here in the first half. On the drive, Elijah Elliott pulls up and knocks it down. Another mid-range shot from New Mexico State.
Same elbow. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Offensive foul, a moving screen called against Emenike. And it feels like this is a call we've seen a lot in the triple header today, the moving screen.
Well, it's kind of that early part of the year where you're still trying to get in sync. You're trying to get your guards to go low enough, your bigs to be physical on screens. You're emphasizing these things early in the year. And when you get in real time in gameplay, it happens a little faster than you want. And referees are doing a good job calling it consistent.
And now it's going the other way.
Hey, I was literally thinking right on time. And both coaches, the thing I love, they're not yelling at the referees. They're actually yelling at their big men saying, hey, you did that. You're not allowed to do that. This is what I've been telling you. It's kind of like the broken record. And I think on this one, Coach Hooten's actually frustrated with Terrell because he didn't take him low enough to the screen so that he could be able to have a better angle. So there's a responsibility on both sides. It's not just the big man's responsibility to get contact. It's also the guards to get low enough.
Tough offensive start so far for UC Irvine. 7 points, only 2 made baskets. Shot clock to 10. Shot clock down to 5. Akiva McBurney Griffin able to find Emenike. Shot no good. Good defense there from the Aggies.
Anytime you get a defensive shot clock, that is an impressive defensive possession.
Mexico State doubling up the Anteaters, leading 14-7. Here's Pickens on the take, and the runner goes.
Pickens with a little bit of the running back, a little bit of stiff arm, not too much. Hey, I'm going to hold you right here, showing off his strength. Nice touch on the floater.
Sophomore out of Phoenix, Arizona, has given the Aggies their largest lead at 9. Here's Settery. Shot clock to 10. Isaac guarded by Pickens. Great man-to-man defense here by the Aggies. Isaac drives, dishes. Henry got to put it up and does. Rebounded by Amanike. Off the pump fake, and a foul will be called against New Mexico State.
And I thought Henry could have let that first one go, but the good thing is his teammate.
Now, folks, back then, when you were getting online on the World Wide Web,
there was a call, like
dial tone. Yes, exactly. You had to go through AOL online. If anybody else in the house is using the phone, you wouldn't get on the internet.
Oh, it's quite a time that we've come since then, and here we are, 2025, and Jason Hooten has an opportunity to lead his New Mexico State Aggies to that new mark that hasn't been done since then. UC Irvine wants to have something to say about it. We have a really good ball game here. Two of the better mid-major coaches in the country that are good friends, and they said, well, we didn't want this matchup, but if we got to play somebody, at least we know we're going to get better from it and be more tested. These guys have long time played against each other, coached against each other, and exchanged notes, talked through basketball, and again, just guys that have really loved and dedicated to this game.
Between the two of them, close to 700 wins. 7-point Aggie lead. 10.5 to go in the first half. New Mexico State is led throughout. Aggies shooting 46% from the floor. The Anteaters have made only 2 shots the entire night. A throwaway by Pickens and taken away by Dixon.
Big possession here by UC Irvine. Can they get into a flow offensively? Can they get a basket to drop? Another offensive rebound, and they're just hanging around, but they want to cut into this lead, take away a little bit of this confidence that New Mexico State Aggies team has right now.
Isaac drives, ball stripped through the wickets of Kyle Evans, but it will stay with UC Irvine with 9 left in the timer. But now they're going to change the call and give it to New Mexico State.
It seemed like the right call from here. Hard to see, but looked like it hit off of Irvine on the way out. Here you see the strip down, hits off leg, and either was touched by Evans or wasn't, but either way, hit off UC Irvine last.
Pickens the take and defended by Evans. Got a piece of that.
Yeah, nice block inside, protecting the rim. But an offensive foul called and another turnover for UC Irvine. Now totals their 8th turnover in the game. They are 2 of 8 from the field. So again, the same amount of turnovers as they do shots. It's not a good formula for success. And here you see just an offensive push twice. And there's the defense being played there by Jones, where Coach Hooten said, hey, he didn't have a reputation. He's a 20-point-a-game scorer coming in from Bakersfield. Didn't have a reputation of defense, but he has liked his defense so far. And, man, that is a screen you want to yell out. Every coach gets frustrated with their player if you don't yell out a screen like that, because even though he got called for the foul, he's going to feel that one today and in the morning.
So a hard foul committed here by Kyrie Smolin, and Isaac on the receiving end. Well, he ran into a brick wall.
And it's the right call. Again, you can't move. You have to let the player come into you, and then the contact is made. You can't initiate that and move as they're coming into your body. And Mullen, the message may have been sent, but definitely picks up the foul.
The Anteaters have been a good offensive team this year, but stymied so far in this first half as they turn it over for a 9th time. UC Irvine coming into the game 6th nationally in assists. They had 40 in the season opener. But so far, just 2 made shots offensively. They have as many or more turnovers rather than shots attempted. And not a recipe for success. Remains a 7-point Aggies lead past the halfway point of the first half.
And we've talked a lot about UC Irvine, defensively.
And Dixon all the way to the cup, puts it in.
Yeah, exactly right on time. We've talked a lot about New Mexico State and the defense they played on UC Irvine, but Irvine's also held New Mexico State at 16 for a long time, and they've been disruptive as well. Back-to-back steals.
Another turnover, and then Pickens with the foul against Javon Jester.
Yeah, Irvine getting their defense going too. Coach said this program is built on defense, along with having some really good players over the years, is the biggest contributors, he said, to success that he's had, the longevity. You mentioned the multiple times, 4 times Coach of the Year in the conference. And Dixon with the takeaway, followed by another takeaway here by Mr. JJ himself. Want to convert those free throws, though. That's going to be a big part of it, too, because the baskets have been hard to come by. Only 9 baskets in this game, field goal-wise, so free throws become a big, big intangible in this game.
1 of 2 for Javon Jester. One of the top bench scorers in the Big West, putting up more than 10 points per game. A redshirt freshman out of Pasadena. 4-point Aggies lead, under 9 to go. And how about this harassing physical defense right now from UC Irvine?
Well, what they're doing, and they've done it multiple possessions now, they're just running and jumping the ball. New Mexico State wants to run half-court offense, and they're just saying, hey, we're going to send another guy at you and make you make a decision. And again, it's caused a lot of confusion, and it's made Irvine be more aggressive. They want to be an aggressive style of defense and not just sit back. They're both physical. They do it in different ways as far as their pressure and the way they want to get you out of rhythm.
Here's Elijah Elliott. Off the pump fake, Elliott on 1 foot. Left it short, rebounded by Evans.
Yeah, the quality of the shot for New Mexico State has really gone down as, again, Irvine's defense is starting to take over on that end of the floor.
Sauron rises up, short, and another foul called against New Mexico State.
Yeah, they're keeping themselves in the game. I mean, New Mexico State's physicality is a bonus and a good thing, but here you see it's not a good thing as Mullen had his left arm kind of hooked around to hold him in position. And
to the stripe, Harrison Carrington.
Yeah, no, if UC Irvine's able to convert at the line, they've cut this game into a 1-possession game.
Carrington, a first-year transfer out of Colorado. In and out, rebounded by Rezesh.
So now for New Mexico State, how do you respond? You've struggled in your last few possessions. Multiple turnovers, haven't got a quality shot.
Elliott, little pocket pass to Malunga, lost it, out of bounds. Another turnover forced by UC Irvine.
And Coach Hooten urging his point guard. He doesn't need to catch it low. Throw it up for the big man so he can catch it up high.
Been more than 3 minutes since New Mexico State last scored a basket. Aggressive drive to the cup from Jester. Rebounded by Osborne. Stepping into a 3, Elliott. Short. Another rebound for Osborne. And then spins away from Carrington off the fake, puts it up, and he's fouled. And that'll lead to free throws for the Aggies.
Yeah, getting back to their blue-collar style. Offensive rebound, shot fake, go to the free throw line with physicality.
3-point Aggies lead. We're back after this on Flow College. And coming out of the timeout, free throws here for New Mexico State. Jacoby Osborne going to the foul line here. Sophomore out of Missouri City, Texas, out of the greater Houston area. And, of course, Jason Hooten knowing that recruiting area a lot, going back to his days at Sam Houston, where he won over 260 games as Bearcats head coach. Coach Hooten saying that he's still figuring out who the Aggies are this year, as many coaches are doing at this stage of the season. Hopes to learn more against more comparable competition, as you'll see this week. And 1 of 2 goes Osborne. 4-point New Mexico State lead. Aggies are led by as many as 9. There's Darren Sauron. A little drop step, works it back out to Jester. A very good three-point shooter. Jones with a good closeout there. Shot clock under 10. And that pass telegraphed taken away by Terrell. And Terrell with the left hand can't finish. Nearly tipped down by Evans. Loose ball gathered by Sear Malunga, and he's fouled.
And it was the deflection that led to the steal because of, again, the disruption on defense. Nothing's easy. Nothing's comfortable. They didn't even break inside of the three-point line this whole possession. They stayed behind it. But good job sprinting back here to force the miss, but you have to come up with that rebound. And we talked about a key for UC Irvine controlling the boards. This is where New Mexico State, they're a hard hat team. They're a blue-collar team. Now, making the free throws different. That's a part of the equation, but you add another foul to your foul count, personal and team, because you don't come up with that rebound. So big things for Irvine. Both their keys to the game kind of exposed on that one possession on both ends. New Mexico State not able to capitalize.
Malunga just a 35% free throw shooter on the year. Misses them both. It remains a 4-point lead. Here's Isaac. Now Henry got cut off on the baseline. A jump pass, it's always trouble. Loose ball. Saved by UC Irvine for the moment, but then taken away by Terrell.
I mean, every time you think you have an opening, that's why that jump pass happened. He jumped and he was open, but then it wasn't. The closing speed by New Mexico State has really been exceptional. But again, both teams offensively, this is early in the year. This is college basketball. Really, when you're playing two evenly matched type of teams, when you have so much turnover on the roster, it's hard to get into a rhythm when you're playing against these good defensive teams because you're not used to the roles and the offense and how to get your shots and your looks. So this is not uncommon for November basketball in this new transfer portal era. Normally with teams, and Coach Hooten talked about this with us, you have so many guys back. Said the thing he still loves about coaching is the teaching part, being able to teach and instill a system and get guys to buy into it and believe in it. And that's why this tournament is going to be so good, because we're going to get 2 games against quality opponents in a conference tournament type of setting back-to-back days.
Shot clock under 10. Henry just shoots to Jester. On the take, got cut off of the baseline. Out to Isaac. Three-pointer spins off, but the rebound pinballs off of Randall and Malunga, and UC Irvine will get it back.
Yeah, can't fault the effort. Had 2 hands on it, just unfortunate slip. Gets Irvine another opportunity, but a great quality look. One of the best three-point looks they've had all night. Just being able to have room to breathe and actually have an open space to get it off. Barely rims out, and here you see Mims check back into the game.
UC Irvine is yet to make a 3 in this game. 0-4 from beyond the arc. Pass inside to Henry. The turnaround doesn't drop. Rebounded by Terrell. Here's Jones going to work. The drop step and the mid-range is good for Jamel Jones.
Yeah, he's really been quiet and really hasn't had a lot of shot attempts in this game. So efficient. Averaged 20 points a game last year at Bakersfield. Had 24 the first time they played Irvine. 18 the second. Played in the same conference as Irvine, so familiar with each other from the Big West. Now transfers to Mexico State, and another illegal screen. The 3rd or 4th one of this game.
Turnover Anteaters, their 12th. UC Irvine, nearly 15 minutes into the game, has made 3 shots.
Coach Turner does not agree with that one and can't fault him there. At some point, you want to let your players play. And not to say the refs aren't letting them play, but there's definitely that element of, hey, I need this guy in the game. At least give me a warning so I can clean it up if they don't get a big advantage off of it, and it didn't have a great advantage on that one.
Guess what? Illegal screen, New Mexico State this time.
And I tell you what it is, too. Both these teams are so physical that when they are making contact on the screens and the guards are so physical and trying to fight through it, there is a collision. There is contact that's significant. So it makes you think, hey, I may need to call this. And I think referees want to err on the side, officials want to err on the side of just, again, keeping things clean, setting a tone early in the game. But we have had a lot of fouls called here. We're over 20 fouls in this game with still 5 minutes left to play. So more fouls than we have minutes.
And a combined 23 turnovers so far for these two.
And probably almost 10 of them on illegal screens.
That's about half. 6-point Aggie lead. Sauron off the screen for Emenike. Drives, right-hand shot off the glass, drops in.
Nice take. That was a big guard take. Use his shoulder to shield off the defender, keep him in position where he wanted to have the straight driving angle. Finishes with the right hand.
One of many talented internationals in this game. New Mexico State, 4 players born outside the U.S. UC Irvine has 3. On the drive, Mullen blocked by Emenike. And that'll stop the clock with 4:37 to go and 11 on the shot clock here for the Aggies.
Yeah, if you love defense, you just have to love what you see. Both teams keeping their opponent under 40%. That's something that's usually a game goal for championship level programs. Both teams getting it done, forcing turnovers, blocking shots, making everything highly contested.
Randall catch and shoot jumper, doesn't bank in. Sauron on the rebound. And Andrews going to stop. Look at the cut into the lead even further. Sauron off the window again. It's a 2-point game.
Yeah, he's having a great homecoming, if you will. He's got a great pace to his game. Stops, goes, doesn't get too rushed, doesn't get too hurried. And he has really had a great last couple possessions, getting his team 1 possession away.
Sauron has 6. Here's Terrell, locates Jones against Henry, drives. Shot doesn't drop. Offensive rebound. Mullins a putback, and he's fouled.
Tell you what, Mullen might be the shortest guy out there, but it does not matter. He plays with big game, creates big space. Another foul attempt on the offensive rebound.
New Mexico State 19, UC Irvine 17. You're watching the Cancun Challenge.
Meanwhile, they've done a good job on the offensive glass to go with that. 7 offensive rebounds, and that is how Mullen has earned his trip to the line. Not the smallest guy, but he was the shortest guy that happened to be amongst the trees. And free throw shooting woes continue for New Mexico State. Just 4 of 8, 50% from the line. That would be something that both these teams want to clean up, as both teams shooting under 60% from the foul line.
Empty trip for Mullen. Remains a 2-point Aggie lead. UC Irvine is yet to lead. Well, they haven't led rather since very early, since it was 4-3. Here's Sauron, and fouled by Terrell.
And Sauron starting to pose his will on this game. He is slowly taking his time as a veteran player and a guy who's been here and done that, but he's taking the physical nature to the defense instead of letting the defense bring it to him. Usually the player that makes first contact and can keep it wins that possession in that little individual battle, and he's been winning the battles here as he's scored the last 5 points for UC Irvine and can get a 6 to tie this game. UC Irvine's only led for 16 seconds so far in this first half.
Short on the second, rebounded by Randall. Here's Pickens for New Mexico State. Off the screen from Mullen, back into him, and he traveled. 12 turnovers for each team here in the first half.
Yeah, again, just still working out the kinks, both these teams. And it gets exposed more when you play against, a tough, fundamental, hard-nosed, detailed defensive team, which both these coaches known for their defensive programs, and we are seeing that on display.
Sauron got loose and got fouled as well from behind by Rizesh. Sauron's been very aggressive in the first half. This will lead to free throw attempts 7 and 8 here in the first 20 minutes.
Well, it is what you love about great coaches too. Coach Turner just decided, hey, we're going to play through our best player. He's doing it right now. We're going to keep riding the wave. And the last 4 or 5 possessions have gone through number 13, and he has been delivering with an opportunity. Just tied it, has an opportunity for their first lead since very early in the game. They led 4-3 at 16:53. That's the last time they led in this game, and the international star gets it done. Not a comfortable lead, but glad to be back on top, and we got a really great competitive ball game here in Cancun.
30 minutes to go in the first half. Pickens out of the trap. Gets it back from Randall. Here's Jones. Shot clock to 10. Mullen draws a triple team and has it stripped and taken away by Amadike.
And Mullins had a tough matchup playing against length. I'd love to see him go play through Jones a little bit more, as he's their easily most efficient scorer.
Dixon misses a turnaround. Ball stopped out of bounds by Ben Egbo. And the Aggies get it back. New Mexico State was up 16-7, and since then,
it did play UC Irvine in the same event, but on campus. I believe that game was in Orem, Utah, and Utah Valley came out 79-72 with the victory in that game. So a lot of good basketball in these matchups. And we got a great one here.
Elijah Elliott matching Musaron. Shot clock running out of 10. Elliott around the screen, navigates, pulls up, short, rebounded by Isaac. Now Isaac finds Sauron, corner three. Jones, the rebound for New Mexico State. Pulls up and knocks it down to put the Aggies back on top.
Yeah, and Jones only has 5 shot attempts. I'm only over here, but I'd say get Jones the ball a lot more often so he can be the one carrying away, and maybe that's a halftime adjustment that New Mexico State's able to make.
Under 2 to go. Dixon contested turnaround. Rims off. Anteaters still shooting south of 30%. They've yet to make a three. Only down 1 as Jones drives the runner off the iron. Offensive putback. Mullen goes in a foul.
The offensive glass continues to be a weapon for number 3. His 3rd offensive rebound where he has gotten fouled. So savvy to understand, hey, I may be undersized, but I am not underhearted, as I am not afraid to be physical inside on a shot fake and 1.
Puts the Aggies on top by 3. New Mexico State, though, has struggled from the line. 4 of 9 so far for the Aggies.
Yeah, Mullen hasn't been great there either.
1 of 3. 5 points, 5 rebounds his Knights. And misfires in free throw. Rebound. And Randall with a stick back to New Mexico State. And that'll lead to an angry timeout from Russell Turner, UC Irvine's head coach.
There's no way that's acceptable by coach's standard when he's built his program on toughness too. It may look different in how they do it, but Coach Turner, unexcusable for what his team displayed right there on that blockout, specifically with Dixon. He was going after him, but it could have been anybody in that whole thing. Got to go with 2 hands, can't just swipe at the ball. And New Mexico State attacking the 50-50 plays, which we said was a part of their formula for success. That's what they do. This is what makes them who they are. Again, I've said it many, many times. I've coached against Jason Hooten's teams. I've seen him recruit our players when I was in junior college. Long-standing relationship with Coach Hooten, and his teams are always built on that type of grit and that type of aggression for those plays. He does not want to be out-toughed in any single game, nor does Coach Turner. That's why he is urging to his bench and to his team to understand the standard that he wants to set with his program as well.
Out of the timeout called by Russell Turner, 5-point Aggie lead. Minute 17 left here in the first half.
There's so much that happens this time of year is these teachable moments. You want to teach and win, but you want those teachable moments of what's acceptable and what isn't in your program.
McBurney Griffin able to locate Henry. Shot clock to 10. Now Sauron. Shot clock down to 5. Sauron weaving through traffic. Dishes to Egbo. Had it knocked away and taken away by Randall.
That is an athletic, impressive block right there. Yeah, New Mexico State has just been so relentless, so fast at recovering. It's not because they're playing just so textbook, but gets beat and recovers. Great wall up on the backside, and Randall, speed on the other end, picks up the foul. And we said we're going to be shooting free throws and then the bonus. And here we are with the 26 free throw attempt combined in this game. Free throw number 11 for New Mexico State.
Senior out of Detroit misses the first. And the more the Aggies miss free throws, the more the door stays open for UC Irvine. Randall transferred to the Aggies from Southern Indiana. Before that, began his career at Alabama A&M. Out of the SWAC, second free throw good. It's a 6-point Aggies lead. Hitting the final 30 seconds of the first half here in Cancun on the third and final game of the day. Sauron.
Got to keep your dribble alive against this team. Blood in the water, and they can sense it, they can smell it, and they are devouring still on the defensive end of the ball. Another forced turnover. Keep your dribble alive, and you're in the bonus too. You want to attack the paint, play physical. You don't want to force anything, but you can't allow a team that's this aggressive defensively to feel like you're uncomfortable with what they're doing. You have to establish some comfort level, and when that over-aggression is what got them in the bonus, take advantage of that. Get to the free throw line. But good job by New Mexico State as they will look to hold for one, and they put the ball in the hands of their leading scorer.
Shot clock is off. Aggies can hold for the final shot here as they look to capitalize off UC Irvine's 13th turnover tonight. Jones with a double team coming. Now it's Randall, 5 seconds, rises up. Short, rebounded by Jester, and a heave of the horn. Doesn't go, and the Aggies will take a 6-point lead into the halftime locker rooms.
Yeah, competitive first half. Both teams had to play early, getting a chance to get back in the groove. So can some of those players that had to sit and watch a large majority of the first half, can they make an impact this half?
All right, second half underway. New Mexico State on top by 6. Anteaters with the basketball to start the second half for Sauron for UC Irvine. Now Evans works out to Isaac. Drives, floaters up and short. And Jones can't corral the rebound. It'll stay with the Anteaters.
Yeah, the rim protection that time. Turned the corner, thought you had a layup. You see the big fella in there. Nothing's easy when you see 24 with the NM State coming your way. But lost on the rebound, and Irvine gets a second chance to see if they can score.
UC Irvine, preseason favorites to win the Big West a year ago, finished second in that league. Won 32 games. And got all the way to the NIT Finals, losing in overtime against Chattanooga. And having to replace a lot of production from a year ago, sitting at 3-3 coming into the game tonight. And they lost the first game of the Cancun Challenge against Utah Valley. Shot clock down to 10. Dixon, after the pump fake, connects. It's a 4-point game.
Yeah, that's a great sign for Irvine. The Anteaters needing their leading scorer to just, hey, get us back going a little bit this half. Help us believe. Great shot there.
Dixon putting up 19 points per game, team's leading scorer. And with that basket, just 5 points so far tonight. There's Malunga for New Mexico State. Now Pickens. His floater doesn't go, and rebounded by Elijah Chol. Dixon on the baseline drive, got cut off. Locate Sauron, good look at a three, well short, and Pickens the rebound. Pickens with the alley-oop feed, but Mims unable to finish.
Transition, we haven't seen a lot of that. It was the right play. Could have maybe thrown it a little bit higher. As Coach Hooten said, this is the best athlete he's ever coached. But you see him running the floor, put it up there, and the contact on Evans. Evans a little bit frustrated. I believe that is now his third personal. And it is his third. That is the frustrating part about when you play and you pick up those fouls. Once you get to the second, it's just kind of this slippery slope because you want to play aggressive, but then you can't because you can't get that third because then you're just sitting and watching.
Both free throws good for Julius Mims. Had a double-double in the first Cancun Challenge game for the Aggies, the win over Sanford. Back on a 6-point New Mexico State lead. Dixon shot blocked by Mims. Joel with a loose ball and puts it back in for UC Irvine.
Well, I'm so glad he shot it. He was thinking about passing. It's like, hey, man, you're right by the basket. You're the tallest guy on the floor, at least second. Go up with it. Might have been a backcourt. He got away with it, I think. Referees missed that one. That trap that UC Irvine's been doing has really caused some problems for New Mexico State.
Rezesh. Maybe a rush three there. Rebounded by Carrington.
Yeah, he hasn't had a clean-looking look since his first two attempts. The last two have felt rushed and have been badly missed.
Chance to make it a one-possession game. Dixon dishes. Sauron spins. And then his pass sails out of bounds. Turnover for the Anteaters.
Yeah, the right idea, but again, New Mexico State defense holds true. You see, goes up and gets the block. Big fella says, give me that rebound. I'm going to give the pass fake and the soft touch.
In the quarter, three-pointer. That doesn't go for Jones. The two teams a combined 1 of 15 from deep. 28-24 New Mexico State. And then Isaac dribbles the ball off his foot. Turnover for the Anteaters. That's number 15 tonight. And with that, Russell Turner will go to his bench. He'll take Scholl out, bring Jovan Jester back in.
Hey, both these teams have more turnovers than made shots, and it's not been a pretty offensive afternoon or evening. Whether it's the time change, whether it's the weather change, who knows what it is, but the defense continues to do its thing.
Dixon against Mims. Can't finish. Rebounded by Malunga. In transition, Jones. Into Malunga. Shot in traffic, doesn't go. Put back Mims, no. And then Amanike, the rebound for UC Irvine, and a foul against New Mexico State.
Well, let's give some context here. We got a lot of new players playing for a program. Again, I said this earlier. When you play a really good defensive team, it takes away a lot of the stuff you're used to getting. Here you see Jones is used to getting this shot. It could have been blocked. Then he passes it. Then you're contesting the rim. A lot of athleticism. And then you see the foul contact. But every time you turn the corner for both these teams, there's a athletic, long-arm, shot-blocking presence in the middle. So that has something to do with it if you haven't seen a lot of that at this point in the season. And then both teams really aggressive and sound defensively where a lot of the plays and things you're used to executing just aren't there. So you're looking for your second, third, fourth option, and sometimes you just have to make a play when there isn't one, and neither team's been able to do much of that.
Jester got tripped, and this will be a foul against New Mexico State. That's Jamel Jones. That's his second. Second team foul against the Aggies. A lot more of what we saw in the first half playing out here in the second. A lot of defense, offense at a premium. Carrington defended by Mullen. Shot clock under 10. Dixon trying to get this offense going for UC Irvine. Jester a three. Anteaters still have yet to make a three in this game, but a foul called on the rebound against, out of a timeout, Anteaters basketball. Trailing by 4. Only A couple of brief leads in this game for UC Irvine as Carrington drives against Malunga off the pump fake, goes off the glass. Challenged by Malunga, has the rebound here for the Aggies. They have held UC Irvine to 7 of 28 shooting in the game, 25%. And then a lot of traffic and contact, and the foul will be called here against Jovan Jester. Right there, Jester's back, draping over the back of Pickens. Easy foul call, and for Jester, personal foul number 2. The Aggies have yet to make a field goal in the second half, 0 of 5 shooting. They're still on top by 4 for a team looking to stay unbeaten on the year. Here's Pickens. That's Jones matched up against Dixon. Shot clock under 10. Jones draws a double team, lost the ball. Rezash saves it. He lost it and taken away by Dixon. Here's Jester the other way, lays it in, and it's a 2-point game.
Sometimes the hustle just pays off. There's nothing about that was pretty, but both these teams playing so hard, and UC Irvine's defense is really holding up in this half as New Mexico State has struggled to get anything going offensively.
28-26. And with a whistle, some tough man-to-man defense there leads to a foul call against UC Irvine.
Well, the points off turnovers is where UC Irvine has done most of their damage. 13 points off turnovers, and here's another takeaway after multiple dives on the floor. A hot potato fast break that almost still gets blocked from the hustle of New Mexico State, but UC Irvine takes that turnover, gets 2 points. Now they're down just 2 points, and in this half have just played cleaner basketball than New Mexico State has. It doesn't mean it's necessarily been better, but they're up 6-2 in this half. And not being able to be in the bonus for both teams so far makes it where you do have to figure something out on the offensive end. And not being in foul trouble has helped UC Irvine.
Elijah Elliott into the corner. Three-pointer Mullen short. Mullen not a three-point threat and only taken 1 three-pointer all year.
New Mexico State yet to make a 3 in this game, but they poke it out for another turnover.
And here's Randall, spins as a shot challenged by Amanike, but first a foul against Andre Henry.
Yeah, the gaps close so fast in this game. You think you have an opening, and typically against a lot of teams you do. But in this game, that opening is closing real quick, and it's closing with aggressive hands and length and athleticism. So both these teams, again, that's uncharacteristic of what they're used to playing against. Most teams don't mirror the same defensive intensity and detail that these two teams do, and they're kind of looking in the mirror. It's almost like the Spider-Man meme where you're looking back and it's like, wait a minute, is that you? Is this me? Why these two coaches didn't want to play each other, but they knew both teams would be better from it.
And Elijah Elliott travels.
But again, you go back to uncharacteristics. You're just kind of trying to find, like, I don't know what to do. I'm going to jump, I'm going to pivot, I'm going to make this up, and then I'm going to get mad at the ref because, hey, I think he kicked it. You're just hoping for something to go your way because the defense is giving you nothing easy.
We're dating back to the first half. It's been almost 8 minutes since New Mexico State last made a field goal. What do the Aggies have to do to get things going here?
Yeah, again, it's easy for us to say over here in the booth. I think you do have to play through Jones and find a way to get him some more shot attempts. He is your leading scorer, so you want to go down giving up a good fight, and then you have to get turnovers just like that so you can play in transition.
And it is Jones, and Jones puts it up and in right on cue and puts the Aggies on top by 4.
And Jones didn't have a design play that time. He just said, I'm taking this ball. I want my team to win. Converts in transition.
It's 6 in the game now for Jones. Here's Isaac for the Anteaters. Pass knocked away by Jones. He's such a good offensive player, but Coach Hooten saying that he's really bought in defensively. We're seeing that tonight. Isaac, floater, short, rebounded by Mullen. Here come the Aggies, a team that loves to score in transition. As Jones rises, fires, but can't hit. And a foul on the rebound is whistled against UC Irvine.
No, I think it's against Mullen. Really physical, but here you see the active hands, and then just says, you know what, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going up. I'm getting myself a bucket. Coach said it. I said it earlier. Some people just have a natural ability to score. Coach says when this young man wakes up and puts his feet on the ground, he's ready to score. He just can do it. He can do it easily. It's natural for him. Doesn't necessarily have to be pretty, but he just has a way of putting the ball in the basket. Averages 18 for this squad, averaged 20 last year. Just a big pickup for the Aggies in the offseason.
And here's Sauron, lost it, taken away by Jones. Up ahead to Randall. Back to Jones. Thought for a moment he might take a three instead. Gonna dish it off. Osborne, a wild shot and foul, and that'll lead to free throws here for the Aggies.
And we talked a lot about Jones' scoring, and now we've talked about his defense quite a bit. But there you see his playmaking. He could have easily just been like, hey, I just made a basket, but he did it the unselfish thing. In transition, he got rid of it right away, got it back, and then in the half court, gave a heck of a dime to Osborne, trusting his teammates, and that's what it's going to take for New Mexico State to take the next step as a program. And again, they have an opportunity to go 5-0, the first time since 1991. Coach Hooten inherited this program when it could not have been in a worse condition, all things considered. It's not even worth talking about. It's so well documented how tough that year was and how low the program was when he inherited it. But he is building it back up slowly but surely, and the last few possessions have a 6-point lead for the Aggies.
32-26, Coach Hooten with a desire for this team to be defined by its toughness and defense. And we're seeing that tonight. Emenike trying to save it, but can't, out of bounds, and back to New Mexico State. And Jones will get a breather here for the Aggies, so the top scoring threat of the bench for New Mexico State. Resesh back out there along with Elijah Elliott for New Mexico State, leading by 6. Randall's floater blocked by Chol. Emenike again trying to save the ball in bounds but can't, and the Aggies will keep it.
It's just one of those games where, again, the small, simple plays aren't even easy in this game. I did say earlier, I believe I said New Mexico State had not made a three. It's actually Irvine that hasn't made a three. New Mexico State made a three early in the game. Only just one, though.
Yeah, but the point being that Bryce trying to make 3-point shots not going down tonight for either team. 1 of 18 shooting from 3.
Yes, that is the point.
Mid-range, no. A miss there from Elliott. It remains a 6-point lead. Sauron, and he draws a foul against Randall. And that'll lead to a timeout on the floor on the year. Anteaters at even 3-3. Only a few weeks into the new season. Grant Freeman alongside Brian Burton. Winners earlier today, Sanford and Utah Valley. Floater, Sauron doesn't go. And rebounded by Osborne. The offensive struggles continue for both teams, each shooting 30% or lower. Into the corner, Osborne. Rebounded by Randall. Rezash just made the only 3 of the game, and that came very early for the Aggies. Malunga trying to pass it in to Rezash, but too much traffic and a turnover is taken away by Henry. And back come the Anteaters.
I would imagine Malonga's strong suit is not backdoor passes from the top of the key.
Contested 3, Henry way off. It's been that kind of night for these two teams. A combined 1 of 20 from 3. Elliott from straight away. And rebounded by Evans.
Yeah, I think playing in transition, you want to take those opportunities because you don't want to play against this set defense.
There's Sauron measuring up Randall. Shovels it inside. Evans off the glass, and it goes with a foul against Malunga.
Tell you what, Evans has had a frustrating night. Glad that one went in for him, but Sauron just keeps creating offense, just probing, and then dissecting that pass. Got a little Steve Nash in this game. Wears the same number. Not sure if that's coincidence or not, but I would imagine he's a player he studied coming up. And Evans with much-needed basket and one. We haven't seen a lot of field goals again go in for this Irvine squad. Still less than 10 field goals in this game. Big one there, and if he can convert this free throw, it's a one-possession game.
Evans' free throw is good. 32-29.
Well, Evans would be probably a bigger factor in this game, but he's been in foul trouble in and out of on the court playing time just because of those fouls. He's only played 13 minutes in this game, but has 4 points and 5 points and 6 rebounds and 2 blocks. So him playing could be the difference for the Anteaters.
Jamel Jones back into the game for New Mexico State. The top scorer back onto the floor. Malunga hands off to Terrell. Three-pointer, no good, but fouled by Jester.
Well, as tough as it's been for threes to go in for Jester, you almost just want to not put so much pressure, make sure that he makes it, but fouling him on a three is definitely a big no-no in this game.
And so 3 free throws here for Chris Terrell, senior out of Horn Lake, Mississippi. A transfer from Division II Delta States. A prolific storm at the level last year with 20 points per game. Well, that is first point of the night tonight.
Well, you see it more and more at this level and in this event. We've mentioned multiple guys transferring from the Division II level to a mid-major level. So that's part of kind of what your market is if you're a productive player at that level, you can come in and be a good piece to the puzzle and a productive player at this level. Maybe not the same type of point production, but you belong on the floor in these games, and we've seen that from multiple guys on each roster.
Three for three. Despite the Aggies having made only 1 field goal in the half, they lead by 6. Nearly halfway through the second. Sauron shovels it off to Chol. Little runner doesn't go. A lot of contact underneath the basket, and they're going to get Osborne for the foul against New Mexico State.
Yeah, just a box out where unfortunately Evans leaves the floor. I think they're going to review this one to make sure it wasn't anything illegal or flagrant. But Evans' activity level, again, has been a difference. He hasn't played a lot, but when he's played, his athleticism on both ends has been impactful.
And so this play under review.
Yeah, what I saw in real time was just a box out that was aggressive, and then when Evans left the floor, he kind of undercut and kind of displaced him. I think it was Osborne with the block out. And it was, and fortunately no injury, I think number one. And then you also just like to see, again, officiating has done a great job this entire event so far. They want to make sure everything is exactly what it's supposed to be.
So officials trying to determine if the foul needs to be upgraded here. A different angle.
Well, I think what they're trying to see is, was he already in the air when the blockout happened? Your human nature and your kind of muscle memory is to block out when the shot goes up. You're not always checking to see if that player's in the air or not. I don't get the impression Osborne was doing something malicious, but if Evans was in the air when he kind of undercut him, that is where the foul may be upgraded. I'm going to guess it will be upgraded just based on how it looks. Not the intent, but how it looks. Our officials are deliberating. They've finished the review now. We should be hearing what is next. And again, this is just a 2-possession game. It's not a high-scoring game, but it's a 2-possession game. Anybody's game, still a lot of time left. 10 minutes left in this game almost.
And the crew still meeting near center court here. Trying to make sure they have the administration of this correct. And this is being upgraded to a flagrant against Jacoby Osborne.
Yeah, as we projected, or at least we thought over here, that it would be upgraded. And you always want to protect the players. The rules are put in place to be able to protect players. And now Evans has a chance to convert, get his team just one step closer.
Evans, a senior out of Aliso Viejo, California. A transfer a couple of years ago from Colorado State. Hits the first. Where's the number 14? Because that was the number his dad wore when he played baseball.
Yeah, originally from California, went to play in the NCAA tournament program at Colorado State. Comes back and is an impact player. And that's kind of the beauty of the transfer portal, right? You're good enough and talented enough to play on one roster, but if you change to another roster, you may be a focal point for that team to be able to win, and he is that here at Irvine.
4-point game. After the 2 made free throws from Evans, here's Dixon. Into the corner, Isaac doesn't pull the trigger there. The Anteaters have not shot many threes in the game. They have yet to make one. And here's Sauron, pulls the trigger, one, and down it goes.
Hey, I'm not always there when you call, but I'm always on time. Great shot, great pull-up, and we got a ball game.
1-point game. Aggies on top. Not at half to go. Resesh against Sauron, who just hit the 3. Up to 12 points. Leads all scores now. 10 to the timer here for the Aggies. Shot clocked out of 5. Malonga lost it. Resesh way off on that 3. And that's going back to UC Irvine.
Tell you what, it is a defensive clinic. If you like defense, you're watching the right game, because both these teams so good at executing. You go under the ball screen on this one probably because of scouting report, and he makes you pay. But the gaps are closing so fast. The rotations, the numbers, the walls around the ball on both sides is exactly what you want it to be. And both these programs, you can just tell their defenses are ahead of their offenses. But they know, these coaches know, that's how you win. Coach Turner knows that's how you win 32 games last year and almost win the NIT. And Coach Hooten knows that's how he's won the championships he's won at Sam Houston State, and plans to do the same at New Mexico State.
Sauron draws contact. And he continues to play aggressive basketball here tonight for UC Irvine.
Yeah, he's been a grown-up in this game. Just controlling tempo, playing physical, getting to the line consistently. This is now his 9th and 10th free throw attempts. And the only way you do that is by being aggressive and being physical. He's got 12 points, 2 assists, and 2 rebounds. And there's only, for the assist reference, there's only 5 assists in the game. He has 2 of them.
5 of the 2 teams combined. Brian's referencing there. And
yes.
And again, UC Irvine, granted, against the non-Division I opponent, but still, in the opener, had 40 assists.
So that lets you know what the defense is like in this game.
One more for Sauron. 5 and 9 for the line tonight. An empty trip. Rebounded by Randall.
Yeah, that's an area of his game he needs to improve. Obviously, this is one game sample size, but you're getting to the line like you want to, but if he converts like most point guards do, he would be putting his team in position where they'd be leading this game. He's 5 of 10, but he makes up for it with the steal. Can he finish it? Gets another foul.
Foul again. Sauron with the theft. And then attack going to the rim. That'll send him right back to the free throw line.
Yeah, and I love that part about his game. He just has a cool, calm, collected demeanor. Again, he's a grown-up in this game playing big boy basketball. Draws another foul. This will be number 11 and 12. He's 5 of 10 from the line right now. Again, you mentioned it, went to Stanford, transferred from here to Stanford, then came back. The free throw shooting, iron unkind right now, as he's now below 50% in this game.
For the season coming against Sauron, 69% for the line, splits the pair, and we are tied at 35.
In the 23-24 season, he was 81%. So he made the one that mattered. Tie game. 8 minutes left. New Mexico State, how do you respond? Can Jones get a touch? Can you get something inside?
And the corner, good look at a three. Randall, no, but a foul is called. And it's called against UC Irvine. They'll get it against Evans.
Yep, just physical play. Ooh, a little bit of antagonist nature there by Mullen. I don't know that there was actually a foul on Evans after you see the replay. Mullen actually pulled Evans. Being aggressive, again, just using his physical nature to create plays, whether the referee sees it that way or not. That's been the edge and the advantage for Mullen all game.
Fourth personal foul against Kyle Evans comes out. Mullen's free throw is good. He's earned himself one more.
Yeah, he's been a silent, impactful player in this game. I mean, maybe silent's not the word. He doesn't have a big stat line, 6 points, 6 rebounds. But in a game like this, that feels like almost a double-double already, the way he's played. He's had a couple and-ones. He's gotten fouled, offensive rebounds. He's been tough. He's been physical, and that just earned him a trip to the line. A little bit of acting in that one, but he got the award.
Aggies back on top. 8 minutes to go in the second half. And what's been the tightest game of the day so far. Isaac off a screen, going right into the corner to Chol. Shot clock to 10 for Dixon. Dixon attacks, back into the corner. But McBurney Griffin not ready for the pass. A turnover for the Anteaters game. But you get a sense this one could be coming down to the final few possessions. Here's Gabe Pickens for the Aggies. Now it's Mullen. Randall rises up in the mid-range, and it's good. Now to put the Aggies on top by 4.
Yeah, that's almost the only spot on the floor that the Aggies have consistently made field goals outside of offensive rebound putbacks.
There's Sauron now for UC Irvine. It's been their go-to scorer tonight. Been kind of a quiet night for Dixon, who has it now for the Anteaters. Sauron gets it back, picked up by Pickens. Works it outside, Dixon a three. And a battle for the rebound, won by Mims. Jones in transition, corner three. Doesn't go, Mullen the rebound, and had the ball stripped by Isaac. And last touch by the Anteaters.
Another good job by Jones, getting rid of it in transition, finding his teammate Randall, who just made the mid-range, misses that three. And the right shot by Dixon on the other end. Coach Turner's been urging him, you got to be more aggressive offensively. He's had some shots he's turned down, and they need him to show up in this game. This is the time, even though it hasn't been pretty, so what? We want to have you be our offensive go-to guy as you have been all year. We need you looking to be aggressive. He took that last shot.
Bit Egbo back to the game for UC Irvine. That three-pointer right down the hatch for Gabe Pickens.
I mean, you talk about a huge shot. When baskets are so hard to come by, you can make it three. It feels like it's a four-pointer in a game like this.
Dixon answer three, spins off and rebounded by Mullen. And the Aggies have stretched the lead out to 7. 6.5 left. And a foul will be called here against Jurian Dixon.
Frustration foul there, and you're in the bonus. You can't be extra physical in a game like this, especially against the leading scorer. But good offense there. Corner three, nothing but the bottom of the net. We haven't said that much, but that was a huge basket there.
And that was just the second three of the season for Gabe Pickens. As we see Andre Henry check back in for UC Irvine. And the line here is Jamel Jones, 5th leading free throw shooter in Conference USA. 2 of 2 tonight. And the front end is good for an 8-point lead.
Well, it gives you so much psychological relief when you see a three go in when you're in such a hard-fought game, because it gives you such a boost. And then coming back with it and having your leading scorer get to the foul line, get some easy baskets, all of a sudden it is a 9-point game just like that.
And that'll tie the largest lead of the night for New Mexico State. Emenike comes out for UC Irvine, and there you see Elijah Chol back in. Redshirt junior out of Cumming, Georgia. Tallest player of the roster, 7 feet for UC Irvine. An Anteaters team trailing by 9. Sauron got tripped up.
Sauron's been the only offensive production for Irvine tonight. He's now headed to the line for his 13th and 14th free throws. He has 13 points. The next highest scorer has 5. So it just shows everything that this young man has been doing tonight has meant so much to this team, as, again, the offense is just struggling. I mean, we're almost to the last 5 minutes, and we haven't even gotten to 40 yet in this game for Irvine. So all these baskets are so important as they're in the bonus the rest of the way, too. Can they get some field goals to go in? Only just 10 in the game. 15 of 24 from the line. Both teams have shot in 23 and 24 free throws. But it'll come down to these final minutes. We know both teams can get stops, but which team can get the scores and make the plays when they need them?
7-point game coming up on 6 minutes to go. Third and final game of the night. And New Mexico State looking to move to 2-0 in the Cancun Challenge. Here's a trap against Pickens. Able to squeeze it to Osborne. Now it's Randall. Got challenged by the 7-footer. Shot clock to 10. Randall rises up and doesn't get the kind roll. Osborne the offensive rebound, and he's fouled.
I mean, that was a really good defensive possession. Just kind of a bad bounce where Irvine almost had the timing, but the double bounce ends up in the favor. Right here, you see that long delayed bounce and ends up with Osborne and just kind of throws it up, gets fouled.
So here's Jacoby Osborne with a 1-and-1, 3 of 4 from the line tonight. I beg your pardon, that was a 2-shot foul. He was in the act of shooting, so Osborne misses the first. He'll get one more.
It's like falling and shooting at the same time, you know.
Oh, that counts.
Today it does.
Yes.
It doesn't always.
8-point lead, 5:42 left. Can the Aggies hold on and stay unbeaten on the year? Sauron draws a foul against Pickens. And the Anteaters in the double bonus will mean 2 free throws here for Sauron. Again, 4 internationals for UC Irvine. Sauron from Istanbul, Turkey. 2 players from New Zealand for the Anteaters. Akiva McBurney Griffin and Tama Isaac. And Ness Amadike from Cameroon.
A new career high, I would think, for free throw attempts from what I'm seeing for this young man.
He's taken 16 free throws tonight.
Just a redshirt sophomore. A lot of time left for that young man to do the great things he's going to do. But realize after going to Stanford, hey, I want to play and be on the floor for games like this.
Osborne drives aggressive to the cup and lays it in.
Nice drive, nice take, beautiful finish. The momentum continues to go New Mexico State's way as they keep holding this lead. If you're Irvine, now's not the time to trade baskets. Get back to getting stops, but can you score? Because New Mexico State is not giving anything easy either.
Corner three, Jester is short. And the rebound pinballs out to Osborne, but there's a foul. And this is against New Mexico State.
Well, this came from, they haven't capitalized like this off of the traps that UC Irvine and the double team that they put on the ball. This time, run and jump gets taken advantage on the backside by Osborne. And this 50-50 play here, Henry sticks his nose in for the rebound and picks up a foul for a trip to the line again for the Anteaters.
We've got Andre Henry, only recently returning to the lineup. A huge addition according to Russell Turner. Missing him most of last year due to the ACL injury. Only a couple of years removed from a big season when he was named as the Big West Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah,
this is only his third game of the season.
Yeah, he's only going to get better and better and back to his form with every game. But he's played major minutes in this one. Made some great plays and winning plays, just like that one he got rewarded on there.
7-point game, 4.5 to go. Here's Osborne for the Aggies. Now it's Jones. Shot clock to 10. Contested shot right over Dixon.
Well, Coach would say he woke up this morning, so that's something that he does. Getting the ball in his hands, especially in crunch time, is going to be a big part of the Aggies' seasonal success, and that was a big example there. Another great shot.
Jamel Jones has a dozen. And the corner, Henry. Triple doesn't go. Rebound. Randall by New Mexico State. 9-point lead and possession.
Evans just had a couple of those plays where his hands are on it. Just got to squeeze it and come down with those rebounds. And we're probably in double-figure rebounds and have even double-figure points. But those close ones are getting his hands, but he's not coming away with it. And they come away with the layup, and the lead is stretched as the bench is loving it.
Biggest lead of the night for the Aggies, on top by 11. 51-40. Approaching 3 minutes to go. Anteaters have got to find their offense and in a hurry. Dixon from the top. That's a three. Jurian Dixon hitting a much-needed three-pointer for UC Irvine.
Yeah, they've been waiting for him to get going. Is this the time in the last 3 minutes where he can start to get hot? Great shot there. Need more of it.
Osborne out to Randall. Aggies want to use some clock here. Milk this lead, try to salt the game away. And now Pickens drives again, and Pickens this time with the left hand.
The three in the corner, the layup left, the layup right. Pickens has been the song many won't know, but 1991, it probably wasn't quite 91, but this is MC Hammer. Too legit to quit, and that is exactly what Pickens has been in this crunch time. Starting with that three-pointer, his defense has been on point in 2 back-to-back drives. Got 8 points in this little stretch. 7 points, excuse me.
Can ill afford any empty possession. By Jones. The Aggies in no hurry for a shot here. Pickens trapped. Now he'll drive, but then traveled, and the basketball goes back to UC Irvine.
Well, that's kind of what they want to do with that run and jump, is get you, again, just
South Dakota State taking on UC Irvine, all here on Flow College. Anteaters in need of some shots to go down here. For a team that's been offensively challenged all night. Here's Henry faking a three, drives instead, works it back outside. Jester, three-pointer spins off, and Mims the rebound for the Aggies. And we'll see if UC Irvine elects to foul here and extend the game. Nothing yet. As Osborne in some trouble here, able to get it off to Jones. Back at Osborne. Mims lost it. Osborne got it and sticks it in. And the Aggies maybe putting the game away, on top by a dozen. (55-43). Jurian Dixon. And that kind of night for UC Irvine. The Anteaters from deep, 2 of 16. And for the game, 25% shooting. And so with this win, the Aggies will improve to 5-0 on the year for the first time in more than 30 years. And a 2-0 record of the challenge as Osborne makes her first free throw. So again, Jason Hooten wanted his team this year to be defined by toughness and defense, and that has definitely been the story tonight for New Mexico State.
Yeah, it's been the story all season. It will be the story all season. That's why he said he wanted his team to be defined as that, and he knows it's a winning formula. They'll have to clean up some things, as we all know. At this time of year, everyone's trying to do. But they got the job done against a really good UC Irvine team and program. Young, still have some growing to do. And Coach Turner knows that. He likes their group, knows that they're more on the younger side as far as their roster, but loves the idea of being able to build with this team, as does Coach Hooten all year long. And two teams that very well could be dancing in March. Long way to play until then, but these programs are always in that conversation as long as these two men are leading the way.
A turnover from the Aggies, but one more inbound of the ball. That's going to do it. And this will drop UC Irvine to under 500 for a team that won 32 games a year ago. And New Mexico State still among the ranks of college basketball's unbeaten, 5-0 for the